What's up, YouTube? Gonna do a Lilibet review. I'm gonna do it like I did my Corvus one, only in this one there won't be any gameplay. I'll probably do that in another video. We'll see. So obviously I already pulled for her. If you want to see how that went for me, just check out my previous video. We'll do like we did in Corvus here. We'll preview her base stats first. Her attack's not bad, her speed's not bad, her defense is not bad, and her health is pretty good too. So that's how I look at that. I mean, her attack could be a lot higher for what she's intended to do, but I personally like my warriors to be built more like bruisers. I don't like building glass cannons unless I'm using that unit for PvE, and Lilibet is a PvP unit. You can use her in PvE, but she's not going to do much for you there. I'm not sure if Extinction works on those eggs in Azumanic 11. It might. I don't think they get revived. I think she just summons new ones. So that's something to maybe test out. Her base speed is average. I mean, it's a little on the higher end of average, I think. Her health is definitely high, so I'm going to build her like a bruiser. Yeah, so those are her base stats. Let's go and preview her skills real quick. And I'll go over them in here.
Don't worry.
Alright, her S1, slice, strikes and... Wait, what the fuck? Strikes and slices the enemy with a 35% chance, that's unmolded, and what is it? 50% chance molded for them to be unable to be buffed. So, that's okay, I guess. Yep, so she definitely, slices there. Alright, so 2, snip. Brutally cuts the enemy with a 35% chance to each inflict 4 bleeding effects for 2 turns. Deals additional damage when the target isn't buffed, so it synergizes with her S1. What is it? 50% chance max, so imagine flipping 4 coins and 3 of them landing heads. There you go, you got 3 bleeds, unless they resist. So it's okay, but the butter of her, the bread and butter, like, is definitely her S3. Soul Cutter slashes the enemy with Cho and Mao, inflicting extinction when the enemy is defeated. And you soul burn and increases the damage. The multiplier is 2.4, which is really high. I'm not sure what the POW is, but I don't really care. Mold it up, you make it a 4-turn cooldown. So here's that. Pretty cool animation, I think.
Stop me.
I'm not going to make this too long of a video. I'm just going to tell you how I would build her and where I think she can be used effectively. PvE, I don't see her being used a lot of places. It depends on how her morale is for like raid, but I don't know how useful she'd be in there. There's a lot of fire mobs. Maybe she could be used in Automaton Tower somewhere in the future. Who knows? In Abyss. Extinction, I don't think works on the reviving mushrooms on like stage 86. I'm pretty sure I read that in the patch notes that it won't affect those. So that kind of gimps her only mechanic for PvE. For Banshee, she might be able to be used. If you ever built like a glass cannon, she might have one-shot potential if she hits a defense break. So that's something to maybe test out, or you could just pair her with Biken to auto, like maybe Water Runes or Banshee as well. That's really the only places I could see her used in PvE. She's got no AoE, so she can't really farm effectively. So if you're not really into PvP, I would recommend saving your bookmarks and not pulling for her. Because, like, really, she was a cash grab for Smilegate because they buffed the shit out of Arbiter Vildred, and he's a problem in the meta, and they had to, after making that change, they had to release, you know, a counter to that, and they put her behind summons, not as a connection or wherever, where everyone have access to it, but, so basically, for high-end PvPers like myself, we have to summon for this unit to deal with Arbiter Vildred, you know, more efficiently. As for builds, like I said, I'm going to build her more like a bruiser. I think all warriors perform better in PvP if they're a PvP unit as a bruiser. Like I'll still have a decent amount of damage on her, and I probably, like depending on what I run, if I run a speed set, I might not run speed boots, I might run attack boots. So maybe like run speed set, crit set with a crit damage necklace and attack ring. Attack boots, obviously, that's kind of how I'm seeing running her, if I can have enough subs allocated to give her enough crit chance. Because you want her to crit, obviously, if you're trying to one-shot Vildred, or execute Vildred, or whatever you want to put that as. So that's what I think about her. In high-end PvP, she's definitely a good unit to have in your kit, just to deal with those revive comps. Like, you see a lot of Ruels, and she'd be really good against Maid Chloe teams in Guild Wars, and of course Arbiter Vildred, so that's where I think she shines. If you're not really struggling with those, or you don't care about PvP, I would recommend not pulling her. I mean, if you're a weeb and you like lollies, then I guess go ahead and pull, but she's really not going to do anything towards, like, progression for you. And I mean, maybe grabbing her now isn't bad if you plan to, like, start pushing PvP later or something like that, but that's just how I feel about her. She was an answer to the Arbiter Vildred, and people have been complaining about revives, and Smilegate saw that as an opportunity for themselves to grab some cash from all of us. So, that's how I feel about her. Let's go look at her artifacts real quick. And I'll give my thoughts on that. I didn't pull it on this account, but that's whatever. So 10% chance for skill cooldown to not occur. It'll be 15 at plus 15, and max it would be 20. So, where I think this artifact would be good, if you don't have, like, let's go back to the heroes and look at warriors here. So, the places where I think this artifact would shine are on Judge Kisei and Dark Corvus. All these other heroes, like maybe Sirmia, but Sirmia, you want to do like some burst damage with her. So there's just a lot of really good options for warrior artifacts. So having it on her, I don't see as being, you know, optimal when you could use Portrait to do that extra damage or whatever. I mean, Portrait's great depending on what you're trying to do, but if you have a longer drawn out fight and you have a bruiser type warrior that would benefit from not getting their cooldowns reset, like Corvus or Jkisei, I think those are the two that benefit from it the most. Maybe Sigrid, if you have Sigrid built as more of a bruiser, because this skill's actually insane, and if you could not trigger a cooldown on that skill, you can get like 4 attacks in 2 turns, which is really nice. But as for all the 4 stars and 3 stars, I don't see it being useful for anybody down here. Maybe Axe God, depending on what you're doing with them, or Lorena. But there's just so many good options for warrior artifacts, and it's such a low chance that it's really not going to do much for whoever you're using it on, unless it's a long drawn out fight and you pretty much know it's going to proc. It's the same proc chance as Elbrus, but the difference with Elbrus, it's a 15% chance at plus 15 for your entire team getting hit by an AoE. So, you know, that's 3 chances of you hitting a 15%. So it's objectively better. I know it's for knights, but I'm just using the percent values as kind of like a comparison there. So that's what I think about the artifact. If you could max out the artifact and make it 20, I think it could be very good. But like I said, it's going to be more useful in longer drawn out fights where you have more chances to proc it, not in a situation where you're trying to cleave a team or instant kill a unit. So that's all I got to say about those two things. Of course, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy these videos. I don't do reviews very often, but some people have asked me to do one on her, so here you go. You guys have a good one. Peace out.